Nisargadatta Maharaj, I am that. An excerpt. You are bringing up questions which you alone can answer. Don't brush me off like this. You are so quick to speak for the totality, the universe, and such imaginary things. They cannot come and forbid you to talk on their behalf. I hate those irresponsible generalizations, and you are so prone to personalize them. Without causality, there will be no order, nor purposeful action will be possible. Do you want to know all the causes to each event? Is it possible? I know it's not possible. All I want to know is if there are causes for everything and the causes can be influenced, thereby affecting the events. To influence events, you need not know the causes. What a roundabout way of doing things. Are you not the source and the end of every event? Control it at the source itself. Questioner. Every morning I pick up a newspaper and read with dismay that the world's sorrows, poverty, hatred, wars continue unabated. My questions are concerning the fact of sorrow, the cause, the remedy. Don't brush me off saying that it is Buddhism. Don't label me. Your insistence on causelessness removes all hope of the world. You are confused because you believe that you are in the world, not the world in you. Who came first, you or your parents? You imagine that you were born at a certain time and place, and that you have a father and a mother and a body and a name. This is your sin and your calamity. Surely you can change your world if you work at it. By all means work. Who stops you? I've never discouraged you. Causes or no causes, you have made this world and you can change it. Questioner. A causeless world is entirely beyond my control. On the contrary, a world of which you are the only source and ground is fully within your power to change. What is created can be always dissolved and recreated. All will happen as you want it, provided you really want it. Q. All I want to know is how to deal with the world's sorrows. You have created them out of your own desires and fears. You deal with them. All is due to your having forgotten your own being, having given reality to the picture on the screen. You love its people and suffer for them and seek to save them. It is just not so. You must begin with yourself. There is no other way. Work, of course. There is no harm in working. Q. Your universe seems to contain every possible experience. The individual traces a line through it and experiences pleasant and unpleasant states. This gives rise to questioning and seeking, which broaden the outlook and enable the individual to go beyond his narrow and self-created world, limited and self-centered. This personal world can be changed in time. The universe is timeless and perfect. To take appearance for reality is a grievous sin, and the cause of all calamities. You are the all-pervading, eternal, and infinitely creative awareness, consciousness. All else is local and temporary. Don't forget what you are. In the meantime, work to your heart's content. Work and knowledge should go hand in hand. Q. My own feeling is that my spiritual development is not in my hands. Making one's own plans and carrying them out leads nowhere. I just run in circles around myself. When God considers the fruit to be ripe, he will pluck it and eat it. Whichever fruit seems green to him will remain on the world's tree for another day. You think God knows you. Even the world he does not know. Q. Yours is a different God. Mine is different. Mine is merciful. He suffers along with us. M. You pray to save one, while thousands die. If all stop dying, there will be no space on earth. Q. I'm not afraid of death. My concern is with sorrow and suffering. My God is a simple God and rather helpless. He has no power to compel us to be wise. He can only stand and wait. M. If you and your God are both helpless, does it not imply that the world is accidental? And if it is, the only thing you can do is to go beyond it. This is the second part. It's from, say, section 51 of From I Am That, with the title, Be Indifferent to Pain and Pleasure. Questioner. I am a Frenchman by birth and domicile, and since about 10 years I have been practicing yoga. Maharaj, after 10 years of work, are you anywhere near your goal? Questioner. Q. A little nearer, maybe. It's hard work, you know. Maharaj. M. The self is near, and the way to it is easy. All you need doing is doing nothing. Q. Yet I found my sadhana very difficult. M. Your sadhana is to be. The doing happens, just be watchful. Where's the difficulty in remembering that you are? You are all the time. Q. The sense of being is there all the time, no doubt, but the field of attention is often overrun by all sorts of mental events, emotions, images, ideas. The pure sense of being is usually crowded out. M. What is your procedure for clearing the mind of the unnecessary? What are your means, your tools for the purification of the mind? Q. Basically, man is afraid. He's afraid of himself most. I feel I'm like a man who is carrying a bomb that is going to explode. He cannot defuse it. He cannot throw it away. He is terribly frightened and is searching frantically for a solution which he cannot find. To me, liberation is getting rid of this bomb. I do not know much about the bomb. I only know that it comes from early childhood. I feel like the frightened child protesting passionately against not being loved. The child is craving for love, and because he does not get it, he is angry and afraid. Sometimes I feel like killing somebody or myself. This desire is so strong that I am constantly afraid, and I do not know how to get free from fear. You see, there is a difference between a Hindu mind and a European mind. The Hindu mind is comparatively simple. The European is much more complex being. The Hindu is basically sattvic. He does not understand the European restlessness, his tireless pursuit of what he thinks needs to be done, his greater general knowledge. Maharaj, his reasoning capacity is so great that he will reason himself out of all reason. His self-assertiveness is due to his reliance on logic. But thinking, reasoning is the mind's normal state. The mind cannot just stop working. M. It may be the habitual state, but it need not be the normal state. A normal state cannot be painful, while a habit often leads to chronic pain. Q. If it is not natural or normal state of mind, then how to stop it? There must be a way to quieten the mind. How often I tell myself, enough, please stop, enough. This endless chatter of sentences repeated round and round. But my mind would not stop. I feel that one can stop it for a while, but not for long. Even the so-called spiritual people use tricks to keep the mind quiet. They repeat formulas, they sing, breathe, pray forcibly or gently, shake, rotate, centrate, meditate, chase trances, cultivate virtues, working all the time in order to cease working, cease changing, cease moving. Were it not so tragic, it would be ridiculous. Maharaj, the mind exists in two states, as water and as honey. The water vibrates at the least disturbance, while the honey, however disturbed, returns quickly to immobility. Q. By its very nature, the mind is restless. It can perhaps be made quiet, but it is not quiet by itself. M. You may have a chronic fever and shiver all the time. It is desires and fears that make the mind restless. Free from all negative emotions, it is quiet. Q. You cannot protect a child from negative emotions. As soon as it is born, it learns pain and fear. Hunger is a cruel master and teaches dependence and hate. The child loves the mother because he feeds it and hates her because she is late with food. Our unconscious mind is full of conflicts which overflow into the conscious. We live on a volcano. We're always in danger. I agree that the company of people whose mind is peaceful has a very soothing effect, but as soon as I'm away from them, the old trouble starts. This is why I come periodically to India to seek the company of my guru. M. You think you are coming and going, passing through various states and moods. I see things as they are, momentary events presenting themselves to me in rapid succession, deriving their being from me, yet definitely neither me nor mine. Among phenomena I am not one, nor subject to any. I am independent so simply and totally that your mind, accustomed to opposition and denial, cannot grasp it. I mean literally what I say. I do not need, oppose, or deny, because it is clear to me that I cannot be the opposite or denial of anything. I am just beyond, in a different dimension altogether. Do not look for me in identification with or opposition to something. I am where desire and fear are not. Now, what is your experience? Do you also feel that you stand totally aloof from all transient things? Q. Yes, I do, occasionally, but at once a sense of danger sets in. I feel isolated, outside all relationships with others. You see, here lies the difference in our mentalities. With the Hindu, the emotions follows the thought. Give a Hindu an idea and his emotions are aroused. With the Westerner, it is the opposite. Give him an emotion and he will produce an idea. Your ideas are very attractive intellectually, but emotionally I do not respond. M. Set your intellect aside. Don't use it in these matters. Q. Of what use is an advice which I cannot carry out? These are all ideas, and you want me to respond feelingly to ideas, for without feelings there can be no action. M. Why do you talk of action? Are you acting ever? Some unknown power acts, and you imagine that you are acting. You are merely watching what happens, without being able to influence it in any way. Q. Why is there such tremendous resistance in me against accepting that I just can do nothing? M. But what can you do? You are like a patient under anesthetics. on whom a surgeon performs an operation. When you wake up, you find the operation over. Can you say you have done something? Q. But it is me who has chosen to submit to an operation. M. Certainly not. It is your illness on one side and the pressure of your physician and the family and the other that have made you decide. You have no choice, only the illusion of it. Yet I feel, Q. Yet I feel I am not as helpless as you make me appear. I feel I can do everything I think of, only I do not know how. It is not the power I lack, but the knowledge. M. Not knowing the means is admittedly as bad as not having the power. But let us drop the subject for the moment. After all, it is not important why we feel helpless, as long as we see clearly that, for the time being, we are helpless.